welcome to the Eclectic Knitter podcast. My camera's crooked. I'm going to leave it in the interests of not moving too much. It is, it's April 5th, 2018 at 3:24 a.m. Central Standard Time. My name, of course, is Raylene, aka Kamana Knits, on Ravelry and Instagram. You can find show notes for this episode at theeclecticknitter.com. Videos are, of course, posted on YouTube or on my blog. I'm no longer uploading to iTunes. It's warm in here, despite being in a basement, but I do this all the time. It might be a short show. It might not. I have knitted finish object, I have a spinning finish object, and I have 2 works in progress, and I have a little bit of enabling. So let's have at it. All right, first I finished my spacious OMG heel socks. They're not washed, I just threw them on the sock blocker for like the first time in forever. I'm throwing things on a sock blocker. This was knit out of Vesper Knitterly Things Vesper with nylon, so it's 75/25. It's also known as thick sock on their website, but on Ravelry it's just Vesper with nylon, I think, or maybe have I been doing, I don't know. I'll remember, I'll have to double check what I've categorized my Vesper, because I only buy this base. So this is it's not super soft. It doesn't say merino. It's just superwash wool. Did I say merino before? No, I just said 75/25 merino nylon. Is that what I said? I don't think the tag specifies. I have the tag right here. Let's see. It just says superwash wool. I'm messing it up. So this was their January 2018 Rainbow Club colorway called Paint Box. This is my first time using the Spacious OMG Heel by Just Run Knit from the Stockinette Zombies. I have not worn these yet, so I can't comment on fit. Personally, I don't know if I'll do it again. I might. It depends on how it fits. When I tried the first one on after finishing it, it's still super tight across the arch of my foot, so I don't think that's right. I believe I will keep doing afterthought heels because those I can make as deep as I want to give this area of the foot more give, basically. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see how this works. I knit this sock yarn because it is thicker than like the normal 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. It's quite a bit chunkier. And I find, for me, that it knits up best at a 1.5, US 1.5. What's that in? I have a needle. That's a 2.5 millimeter needle. And then I do 56 stitches for my foot. And I wear about a US size 10.5 women's. So that's that. I'm really happy with them. I took pictures, posted them on Instagram and Ravelry. I've been woefully lax in uploading pictures of either stash or projects really into Ravelry. Hopefully I will get better, fix the mess I've made. The next finished object is a spinning finish object that I am incredibly happy with. So I finished my Rologs from Fellview Fibers. This is in the Skiddaw Snows colorway. It is merino, rose fiber, silk, and Angelina. And this is my skein. You can see some of the glitter. So this spun up so pretty. I almost wish I had used, when I bought my wheel, which is an Ashford Kiwi 2, I bought their high speed whirl for fingering and lace weight. I wish I had used that. So I used the regular whirl that you get with the Kiwi, but the fastest ratio on that, which is 7.25 to 1, I think. And this is what I got. Now, when I wound it off after plying it, it's a 2-ply, by the way, and I had like nothing left over. So I the one that I split in half, I did almost perfectly. I think I had maybe a yard left. I didn't even bother 3-plying it. So when I counted this off from my bobbin, I wound it on my Nitty Naughty, and I got almost 800 yards. I think it was 790 some. Now it did poof up with a wash, and it got quite a bit softer. I don't know if you can really, there we go. So like I said, it did poof up, and it got quite a bit softer in the wash. So I'm still going to guess it's probably at about 700 yards. I hope I didn't lose that much, but I may have. I'm planning on knitting some kind of lacy shawl with this. The gray doesn't come out too obvious. Like, it's not whole sections of gray, and I kind of did that on purpose. Like, I just spun them. I didn't try to color match. There's only a couple spots where the gray from both plies is in the same spot. So it just kind of looks like a whitish pale gray. Pale gray whitish. I'm not very good at making skeins, but we will give this a go on camera. Aren't we something today? I'm like questioning how I do this now as I do it. For all of you lovely people, that's kind of a meh skein, but whatever. So this is the thinnest that I've ever spun. It's the most yardage I've ever gotten. The last spinning finished object that I showed you was the Ethereal Fiber Arts Organic Polworth, and that was, oh, this is not good at all. That was 5 ounces, and I got 522 yards, but that was a 3-ply, so maybe that is thinner. This was 100 grams, so not even 4 ounces, and I got about 700 yards, if I counted right. Maybe I didn't count right. Maybe I should recount. Maybe I should. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's lovely. There did seem to be parts where the singles were underspun. I had a couple areas where as I was pulling it off of the bobbin to ply that it was breaking. And I have a feeling that's because A, I spun it so thin, and B, despite using the higher ratio, I think I need to go to start going to the lace weight flyer or lace weight whirl, um, because I think I need more twist. That's just my feeling. Even before I washed it, it hung like a nice loop. There was no twisting in it or anything. So I know that my ply was okay, comparable to my twists, or comparable to my singles. But I really like some of the bits that went fluffy, I feel like right there. Right there, there's some fluffier bits. I feel like those areas where it got super fluffy, it was underspun, the single. But like over here, where it's not as fluffy, if it will focus, please, and thank you, camera. Come on, camera, focus. There. It's not as fluffy. I think there the singles were more spun. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's just my hunch. Because there were parts where, because of Like I'd never spun rologs before, and some of the areas I had a really hard time drafting evenly. So there were areas where I had like little thicker parts or little almost like nups, and that just came from spinning with a lot of fibers that I had never spun with before. Um, and just the preparation was different. And I did a short forward draw, so it spun worsted. And I know the preparation for rologs really should be spun woolen, but I don't know how to spin long backwards straw yet. I am going to learn. I have the Craftsy class about plying or about drafting from woolen to worsted, and I want to go through that at some point and actually spin each method and give it a try. And hopefully by doing that, I will be able to spin worsted, because I would like to spin more worstedy than, no, I want to spin more wooleny than worstedy. That's not even a word, but whatever. Okay, enough talk about that. Next, we have works in progress. So the first thing that has probably gotten the most work in the last 2 weeks, yeah, are another pair of socks, another Vesper thick sock. This is, well, it's pretty accurate. So this was their December regular club colorway called Wishing You Warmth. And Megan from the Stockinette Zombies just recently knit her own skein of this in a different base into a lovely pair of skews. The stripes are much thicker on mine, of course, than they are on a skew, because it's not biased at all. I still can't decide whether I like this color or not. I love gray, but you can see that the gray is very speckled with red. So it kind of reminds me of the Targaryen colorway from Madeline Tosh a couple years ago. Um, but I'm just not sure. The coral and the super dark green, I just can't decide if I love it or hate it. Either way, they're socks. I'm going to wear them. I'm going to love them as socks. That's all I need. So I should be starting the toe. I've just been enjoying going around and around and around. So I should start the toe. This is the full skein, by the way. I don't have the tag anymore. I wound this before I wound the paint box, and I tossed the tag at one point. So that's that. And then, sorry, the last thing that I actually worked on this week was my Buds and Branches pullover by Carrie Bostick Hodge. Carrie Bostick Hodge? Oh, where's my cursor? Oh, I have Ravelry up, so it's not that big a deal. Carrie Bostick Hodge. That still sounds wrong, but I think it's right. I'm doing this out of Barrett Wool Co. Wisconsin Woolen Spun in the sport weight. In the gray, the darker color is Quaker Gray, and the lighter color is Birch. Last week I was halfway done the last repeat of this color work chart, and I had done way more than this. I had done, this is about 6 rows past the color work. I had done about 13 rows past the color work. It was probably about an inch longer. And then I measured my gauge. For those of you who, if this is your first episode, welcome. So I started this a number of weeks ago. I did a gauge swatch on the needles called for in the pattern, which are a US 5, 3.75 millimeter needle. And I got 21 stitches per 4 inches, which is not tight enough. So it's supposed to be at 24 stitches per 4 inches. So I went down 1 needle size to a US 4, 3.5, thinking that would be good enough. Now, after I had knit those 13 rows, and I had actually done the first increase round for the largest size in the pattern, which is what I was doing. When I measured my gauge at that point, because I figured that would be more accurate, I was getting 22 stitches per 4 inches, which is not quite 24. So I looked at the number of stitches that were required for the body. What did I do? I did some math. So I took the number of stitches for the body for the largest size and divided it by my gauge per inch, which was 5.5, I believe. And then my sweater would have, the circumference of the sweater for the body would have been like 68 inches. That's a little bit too much positive ease for this type of sweater. So then I took the number of stitches for the second size down, or for the first size down from the largest, which is 57.25 inch. I took the stitch count for that and divided it by my stitches per inches to get what the circumference would be then. And that would be, I think, 62 and a little bit. And then I went down one size further and did the same thing, and then it was like 58, and that's, actually, I probably could have gone down that far. So I decided I'm going to follow the instructions for the second largest size. And so I had to rip back everything I had done because the increases were faster. I was supposed to have done 2 increased rounds already where I was, and I had only done 1. So I ripped it all back, and that was this much of yarn. And then I've knit like 2 rounds since I ripped it back. I figure this is my first colorwork sweater, and I want to make sure that it fits nicely, that I'm going to wear it. And I did hem and haw a little bit about that for maybe an hour, thinking, should I just keep going? Should I not just keep going? And I decided to not keep going. But I do really love this colorwork chart, and I think this is my first colorwork that I think is actually going to look really nice once it's blocked. So we shall see. So that got more ripping than knitting, but that's still progress, right? Totally is. So that's all the knitting I did this week, or in the last 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. Next, I will talk about stash enhancement. Oh, this program, I'm using a different program, and it doesn't have, oh, I don't want that. No, it doesn't have a pause button. Anyway, I was gonna get a drink. My throat's kind of sore. I've been talking quite a bit this evening to a friend. So I placed an order from the Loopy U, down in Colorado. I got an email from them saying that I had credit on my account that was close to expiring. So I bought some yarn to use up that credit. So the first thing that I got was Whimsical Wood Yarn Co. Pixie Toe Socks. This is 436 yards of a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and this is in the Daryl Dixon colorway. It's this really pretty gray with like copper speckles, and there's some pink speckles in it too, I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, or maybe they're red. There. Focus here, please. Focus here. Oh, there we go. So this base to me feels kind of like wool miza a little bit. It's a very tightly spun 4-ply, basically. So it's going to make a beautiful pair of socks is what it's going to do. And this is their tag, which is adorable. And then they write the name of the color on the back, because life's too short to knit with shitty yarn. See? So that's the first skein that I ordered. The second one was Townhouse Yarns in the Grafton 4-ply. So this is an 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon, dyed in Ireland. This is the Dreams of Paradise color. So it's this gorgeous blue with different speckles and shots of color. I don't know what's going on under the tag. Oh, that's what's going on under the tag. This will also be a very pretty pair of socks. Everything is socks. All my single skeins of fingering weight that I've showed, they're all socks. If it's got nylon in it, it's planned for socks. I don't even bother like doing, a lot of people match patterns socks. Nope, they're going to be vanilla socks. I know that. So I don't have to think about it. Oh, what am I going to do with this superwash merino nylon skein? Socks! Vanilla socks! Fish lips kiss heel! Done! And then I ordered my first ever Dream in Color Smushy with Cashmere. This is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is in the Pop-Up Skein Club February 2018 color, which is this gorgeous deep blue with speckles, green speckles, and there's some red speckles, and this aqua. It's really pretty. These two are kind of similar, but kind of not really. This blue is more gray, and this blue is more bright. But when I first looked at them out of the package, I was like, I ordered the same thing in two different dyers, but they are more different. This one's like I said, the blue is a lot more gray, so it looks a lot kind of stormier, and then this one looks more like water, like a tropical island water. So that's what I bought yarn-wise. And then today I went to a bookstore. I may as well talk about this. I'm only at 20 minutes. So I went to a bookstore today. I drove down to my parents' place to pick up some mail. And on the way back, I wanted to pick up dye to get my hair looking kind of that color again. And there was a bookstore right beside the Sally's that I went to pick up color. So I picked up two books. One I had actually started reading on my phone. I bought the ebook version, and as I was reading on my phone, I went, I really should get a physical copy of this, because this book's gonna rip me apart, and I'm gonna want to make everybody I know read it. The second book is one that I heard a really good review about, I think from Katie of Inside Number 23, maybe. I've been watching her back catalog, so I think I heard about it when she and her husband did their General Waffle section. And they were talking about, I think they were talking about books. I messed up because this is a book. So anyway, I have another book by this guy, and I've heard a lot of really good things about his nonfiction, because he weaves a story around actual facts, like a true story around actual facts. It's nonfiction, it's not fiction. So this is The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. If we can get that to there, that's not bad. This is just a trade paperback. It is about, let's see, doesn't say too much. It's about the 1893 Chicago World's Fair and a serial killer at the time, combining meticulous research with nail-biting storytelling. So I've heard good things. Excited to read it. I almost bought the ebook version. And then I decided, since I already have one of his books in paperback, I think I have Dead Wake in paperback or in hardcover, I would just pick up this one. I could have ordered the hardcover online, but I was there and this was sitting like right in front of me as like a staff pick. So I picked it up. And it is a National Book Award finalist book. I think he's American. U.S. American, by the way, not North American. United States of America, and yeah, Seattle and New York. So I'm excited to read that one. I don't have many actual physical books here. Most of them are in storage. So I have these two, and then I have one other that I found that arrived like right before I moved. So I packed it up in a random yarn box actually, and it's sitting over there, and I want to read it, but I haven't yet. The next book, and this one I actually started, like I said, on my phone, is The Last Neanderthal by Claire Cameron. I've read a number of chapters, maybe 3 or 4, and it reminds me of Gina Ewell's Clan of the Cave Bears kind of thing, but it mixes current day archaeology with telling this story of a family of Neanderthals, and it's very, they did this, they did that, and this is how they felt, and this is how, you know, their world was, and um, so it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm more of a fan of the story she's telling about the Neanderthals rather than the present day archaeology stuff, but you know, you do what you do. Um, and the paperback, this was the last copy in hardcover that my local bookstore had, and I searched quite a while for it. But it is being released in paperback. I believe on April 17th is what I saw on their computer at the store. So that should make it cheaper. I don't know if Claire Cameron is American or not. Oh yeah, she's from Toronto. So she wrote a novel also called The Bear, and it was longlisted for the 2014 Bailey's Women's Prize for Fiction. Um, so and it's Doubleday Canada is the publisher. So I always love, of course, supporting Canadian fiction. You can probably find this on Amazon. It is, it's going to break my heart, I'm sure. So maybe I'll talk about it a bit more after I've actually finished it, but I'm really excited to read that as well. I think it's been a while since I've talked about books. That feels really good. Even though I haven't read them, I still have things to say. That's everything. I'm going to end it at that because that is about half an hour. And I don't know if my voice can handle another half hour of talking. And really, I don't have much else to talk. I don't have anything else to talk about. Oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. So thank you very much for watching. Returning viewers, thank you for coming back. If you're new, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the video, subscribe if you want to see future videos, and I will see you hopefully in a week, maybe in 2. We'll see how it goes. Thanks. Bye.